Whether you've got picky eaters at home or you're just not up for cooking, store-bought food often beats out anything you can make in the kitchen. Need proof? Just take a trip down to Costco. There was once a time when Costco muffins were the stuff of warehouse bakery legend. These oversized mini cakes could serve 4 people, if only the person who bought them was willing to share them. They came in a limited range of flavors, including chocolate chip, blueberry, banana walnut, coffee cake, and apple, all of which are just as flavorful as anything a home baker could make in the kitchen. If not more so, they were the sort of pre-made treat that drew murmurs from the crowd whenever they appeared on dessert tables or office break room breakfast spreads. Of course, you were pretty dang lucky if you managed to lay claim to a single muffin out of the multi-pack before everyone else descended. And the best part of all this? Not one single person ever complained that they hadn't been made from scratch. Sadly, Costco has since introduced a smaller muffin to help address concerns about sensible portions. Luckily though, they haven't lost much by way of taste. Just don't try to pass them off as your own, unless you're a talented enough baker that you know your friends will believe you. On a similar note, it's probably time to accept that you'll never come up with a sheet cake as tender and tasty as the ones at Costco. Unless you're a professional baker, that is. So why not leave it to the experts? You don't want to tax your baking skills just to come up with a cake that Costco could have ready and waiting for you on the day of the event. And Costco even allows you to choose your own fillings, many of which you might not have thought to add to your own bakes. If you've got young kids, a Costco half-sheet cake should always be on the menu when party time comes around. Heck, there's a reason everyone got so mad when they stopped selling them for a while back in 2020.
The COVID-19 pandemic has changed our way of life. It's caused a lot of turmoil. The latest victim, Costco's famous sheet cakes.
You can make your order and even tell the bakery what message and design you want on top. This also means savings when it comes to buying supplies and ingredients, which will obviously take a load off your busy party planning mind. To be honest, if you've got any kind of sweet tooth, these sheet cakes are likely to become the gold standard of party cakes, and there's a good chance you'll still be buying them long after the kids have grown up. The basic recipe for pesto makes it seem like a foolproof sauce that any amateur cook should be able to make. A mix of oil, nuts, herbs, and garlic that gets blitzed in the blender is a slam dunk in the world of home cuisine. And yet, somehow, it can actually be pretty tough to master. If there's no hope for homemade pesto on your horizon though, you'll be comforted to know that Kirkland's signature pesto can summon the spirit of home cooking without a whisper of a hassle. Obviously, the heart and soul of pesto is basil. With Kirkland's pesto, it's 100% Genovese basil imported from Italy, a guarantee that most home cooks in the US won't be able to make. One customer even took to Reddit to share that the Costco version of the sauce is life-changing, confirming that the effort it takes to make your own just doesn't balance out when you have a high-quality, ready-to-serve version available nearby. Grab a jar on your next visit to Costco and keep it on hand for your next pasta night. You'll have zesty pesto that's sure to impress, and all you have to do is pour. If you don't know by now how incredible Costco food court pizza is, well, let's just say that your life is about to change for the better.
As much as it's not good for me, but yeah.
Though connoisseurs might argue that the quality of a Costco pizza doesn't quite rise to the level of gourmet exceptionalism, we street-level diners are all too happy to surrender our home cooking skills in favor of a fresh-to-order pizza of the Costco variety. So what makes Costco pizza so delicious? Chalk it up to the special pizza robots that make sure every single one is heated to the right level of ooey gooey chewy goodness, a process your home oven probably can't replicate without some serious retrofitting. Fair warning though, don't be fooled by the Kirkland signature pizzas found in the freezer section these days. Those may be cheap, quick, and easy to make, but they're nowhere as good as the food court original. When chicken bakes turned up on the Costco food court menu back in the early 2000s, they were a revelation for everyone who was looking for something new and exciting to grab for lunch. Essentially a Hot Pocket shaped like a cheese-covered baguette filled with strips of chicken and a garlicky cream sauce, the chicken bake was, frankly, almost too good for words. It was certainly better than a homemade stromboli or spanakopita, two similar dishes that even ambitious home chefs will struggle to pull off on a Costco level. Just how good is the Costco chicken bake compared to homemade versions? Well, it's so good that it has since inspired its own homemade chicken bake movement, with copycat chicken bake recipes showing up all over the internet. This eventually prompted Costco to release a frozen version of the chicken bake for those who didn't feel like heading out to their local store. Basically, this food court item trumped home cooking so hard that, in a weird, cyclical kind of way, it actually made people want to cook again. How's that for power? Sauces. You can make them or you can't. If your attempts to throw together a homemade marinara sauce have come up lacking, you'll want to turn to Costco's Kirkland Signature Organic Tuscan version. It'll replace the need for an heirloom recipe and hours of kitchen labor. And since you get 3 jars in a single purchase, you'll save both time and money.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball!
This sauce also contains organic ingredients, which should make you feel better about depending on it, rather than rounding up all the produce you need to make a homemade version. Even better, it just straight up tastes great. A review posted on the blog Cost Cuisine highlights the garden fresh flavor of the tomatoes and the background notes of basil and onion, which complement the rest of the sauce without intruding on it. Add this one to your list for your next visit, and you'll be all set for spaghetti night. If your version of homemade cinnamon rolls come from an exploding cardboard tube found in the refrigerator section of your local grocery store, get yourself down to Costco. The only place you're likely to find pastries more enticing might be the commercial building at a state fair. And, well, how many times a year does that come around? With Costco's luscious bakes, however, you can easily and regularly indulge in a treat that's bound to be better than anything you can whip up on your own. On Reddit, one fan of these cakes explained how Costco hooked him up with free samples. They later became a straight-up cinnamon roll fanatic, keeping a stash in the freezer for easy access when their sweet tooth starts to gnaw. And it's certainly true that you don't need to finish off the whole pan before the Best By date rolls by. You can keep these frozen to snack on them for weeks to come. But it's no big deal if they stay on the counter for a while either. Another Redditor noted that they taste great even a few days after purchase. They even claim that these rolls are preferable to those sold at Cinnabon. That's a mighty sweet endorsement, and one that speaks volumes about the quality of Costco cinnamon rolls. Everyone has their own ideas when it comes to making a proper salsa, whether it's a restaurant-style dip with a sauce-like consistency or a fresher, chunkier, salad-like concoction. If you prefer the salsa fresca style, Kirkland's signature organic salsa will make for an ideal alternative to chopping up your own vegetables. It's always nice to have some variety in your salsas, of course, but you might prefer a dependable dip that satisfies without any mysterious twists. And Costco salsa delivers this in spades. In one instance, Redditors were quick to correct an original post that smacked down the salsa, chiming in with their praise of the quality-to-price ratio. One customer estimated their regular purchases amounted to more than 100 jars over the years, a particular testament to the staying power of a Kirkland product, considering the brand is notorious for making changes to its recipes and losing established fan followings.
If quality can't be met first, we're not even going to talk about value because that's not even going to be something we need to look at.
This salsa is a stalwart, though, and a perfectly dependable buy when you need a quick and easy salsa fix. Anyone who's ever struggled to nail down the perfect homemade lasagna should appreciate the Kirkland signature alternative. Being able to swing by Costco and tuck a 2-pack in the cart will soon be a ritual for you, your family, or friends. Never again will you risk the trauma of serving up a bland, poorly layered attempt at this Italian classic. Depending on your taste, you may actually find that you prefer Trader Joe's lasagna to the one sold at Costco, though the points on which they differ boil down more to a personal preference than anything to do with quality. But if your Costco card is in date and you'd rather shop at the warehouse than the small house, you'll probably find that this generous pan provides a burst of flavor, besting even homemade recipes in many cases. Most importantly, it'll also prevent the fallout from spending hours preparing a handcrafted lasagna only to find out it doesn't make the grade once it's on the table. Why take the chance when Costco has you covered? Ah, the famous Costco pumpkin pie. That mammoth concoction of sugar, eggs, pumpkin, and sheer delight. It never fails to cause a stir when it reappears around the end of the year, and it now holds a well-deserved reputation among cult fans of Costco treats. This oversized pastry should be a regular feature of your Thanksgiving dessert table. It's certainly likely to be devoured more hungrily than any homemade versions you might be tempted to offer. With so many variations on homemade pumpkin pie out there, there's a lot of potential for disappointment among less capable home cooks. Luckily, that's easily avoided with a spin through the Costco bakery department. And sure, this pumpkin pie may only show up for a few weeks, but it'll be more than worth the hassle it takes to get one. Homemade garlic Parmesan bread requires just 3 main ingredients to achieve, but that doesn't mean it's easy to perfect. The bread itself might be too thin or too thick, for example, or the garlic Parmesan combo too zesty or too weak. If you've pretty much given up on fine-tuning the process, then why not grab a Costco loaf instead? Not only does Costco rise above many of the homemade garlic Parmesan bread recipes out there, but some Reddit users actually say it's better than any other garlic bread, bar none. A few even claim they prefer it to the high-end bakery loaves they've tried. That's a bold claim, of course, but it speaks to the high regards in which so many food fans hold this Costco specialty. Okay, so you could obviously go shopping for the ingredients required to make your own broccoli cheddar soup. You could even put your talents to the test, coming up with a version that strives to reach restaurant-level quality. But with Kirkland's signature broccoli cheddar soup available at the Costco right around the corner, well, why would you? Simply crack open the lid, peel back the protective seal, and heat your way to soup house satisfaction in minutes. Don't be deceived by the deceptively chilly reception this soup receives online either. YouTube reviewer Chef Dog introduced his wife and daughter to this Kirkland classic, only to discover his samplers weren't in favor of the flavor. But the chef himself disagreed, rating it much higher in the context of other home-bought soups. Want to know the truth? Simply head out and pick up a can of it for yourself.